You cool kid, little punk. Oh my god, it's so loud. Oh, what am I doing? Okay. Do this. Okay. All right. I'm hanging laundry in the background. Oh, shut up. Oh, shut up. I'm terrible at beatboxing. All right. Hey, everybody. So, this is gonna be a quick stream today. I don't know how loud this is. There's one person on YouTube. Hey, can you tell me how loud this music is? Chat? In the chat, can you? Is this like? Can you hear me okay, or is the music too loud? 'Cause I can hear the music. Oh, and they're gone. Okay, you can tell me. Make a video out of this. Yeah. All right. I think I'm gonna clip this. Yesterday, I was having a conversation with one of the community members here in Japan, where I'm living now in Japan. So basically, the he's realizing that he's struggling with kind of enjoying life to the fullest, feeling like life is fun. It's more like the way that he's feeling is it's getting boring. And I real like I kind of feel like a lot of people are feeling this, where life is boring, life is kind of meaningless, or there's like no purpose or no direction. It's kind of getting confusing, maybe a little complicated, and just we don't know what to do. But when we get to the point of like, I don't know, I related to him a lot with like that feeling. We just, what is life? Why is life getting boring? Like, I mean, I'm having fun here and there, but like, life is, I don't know, getting bored, getting bored of it, getting unexcited, just not really having fun. And it made me think about what really does make life more fun. What makes life more fun? And what can we do about what can we do to make life more fun? And honestly, I think it comes down to a few simple things. Um, I don't know when it was last time you felt excited to wake up, and even though like nothing particular was happening, and it's been a while. I think since I've felt like, yeah, I'm really excited to get up out of bed and start moving. Um, Usually, I usually lately I've been wanting to hang around in bed for a little bit longer, um, and I think that just goes to show maybe I need better rest. I need to sleep earlier, probably. I mean, it's one of the huge key take points in my uh, short in one of my videos that I made, just getting rest. Um, and planning your day. And I think like knowing what's coming ahead is also really cool. But the last time I felt like I don't know if it was like fun. I would say it was fun. It wasn't really fun in the moment, but it was really exciting, and it brought me a lot of like fulfillment and joy. Was when I was living the van life, and what was exciting about that, not necessarily was being in the van, um, but actually it was really exciting to have a lot of responsibility, to take care of other people and to like know that people are relying on me to do something, and I'm like happy to do it. Like it was something that I bought into. It wasn't like put onto me, and now I just have to take responsibility even though I don't really want to. And I think it's a really kind of a mixed experience. Um, it can go either way, like taking responsibility. But yeah, I mean, van life, I had to check, I had to make sure, I'd do basic maintenance on the van, just check the tire pressure, check all the liquids, make sure nothing was leaking or overheated or acting weird. And then, yeah, I had to take care of the guys who were with me. I just like, I was the one who's kind of the lead of the group. So, um, yeah, we drive to a park, we do stretches, and we make sure and we start our day really well. And it was like a really nice routine. Um, But I think also one of the best parts of that about that was just like the connection that was being made. Overall, it was a great experience to share about like how our day is going throughout the entire day. Like not just at the end of the day, but like as the day was progressing, we were connecting. And we weren't just connecting because we were connecting, but it was actually a really big like faith practice, right? Like we were really centered on how can we include God into our day, into our situation, into our internal goal, and just I think having an internal goal and external goal was really good. Like just for life now, that's something I haven't really practiced in a while, and I'm thinking that might be good to implement. I think I want to try that. Like High Noon, we have the North Star goal, and that's pretty similar to the internal goal, kind of like what GPA does. But yeah, I mean, if you think about it, having like an internal direction and an internal goal, it would be really beneficial to help guide some aspect in your life. Now, the internal goals that I had, I can't remember probably any of them. But some of them were like, I know, okay, I know some of the generic ones were like, be grateful, be grateful. The idea of just having gratitude even when things kind of suck or things are not going your way or things are just not as good as you wanted them to be. um, Gratitude can really flip the switch on a lot of perspectives, I feel. um, yeah, and just walking with like such deep intention throughout your day, like being like hyper aware of like the things that are going on around you and really finding the meaning and gratitude behind what you can take away from it. I um i was educated at one point that there was there's a gratitude that you can really experience, um that's like, okay, hold on. So there's two ways to experience gratitude. The one way is to experience gratitude of like thankful that I have what other people don't have, you know. And then there's like that type of gratitude which is like I am just grateful to be alive and to have anything, because I don't have to have anything. Like these things that are coming to me, like, I mean, even the chance to be able to work hard to get the things that I want to get is a factor to be grateful. And it's just like it's two different levels, right? It's two sides to this idea, but like finding gratitude not because oh well, I'm more grateful. It's like more obligatory, like oh yeah, that person doesn't have what I have, and I guess I should be grateful. I'm grateful for it. But then there's like a deeper gratitude that you experience when you really feel like grateful that this is in your life. Um, for example, let me think of an example. I mean, anything can be an example. It's just, okay. So I let's take for me in Japan. We have the konbini, right? The convenience stores. Lawson is right. It's down the street. 7-Eleven is also down the street in the opposite direction, pretty much right here. So when we think about like the negative aspect of gratitude, so recently I had gone to Africa and um, where we went, I went to Benin. So Benin is kind of a nice country. It's really nice, actually. The thing about Benin is this: I would just with Africa, like right, the structure is very different. But yeah, there's a lot of dirt roads. There's just a lot of like it's a very different style of life. But we went to visit one city in Benin where it was completely on water, and every like all the structures right were built on over the water. And then there's like man-made islands where people would bring up like sand or dirt um, or clay to you know a certain area and keep dumping until an island is formed. And when that like and you just think about the lifestyle, like where do they get their food? How like getting anywhere requires a boat or swimming. Um, and you probably don't want to swim in the water because that's where they defecate. That's where they poop and they pee. So like, yeah, the water might, and then of course it's tidal, and the main source of food is fish and um, probably some maybe chickens. But like chicken is probably a really, cool thing to get. Like oh boy, it's chicken. It's like no, yeah. And it's just like it's a really simple way of life. Um, I'm just like imagining, okay, and then like here's where I am, and I'm thinking, wow, I'm so grateful that I can just go down the street and get any food that I want. Yeah, I have a kitchen with gas. They had electricity. Actually, they had power lines, which was really interesting. They had actually tiny solar panels here and there scattered about, kind of like a portable battery sized. Oh yeah, and then like Wi-Fi too. I'm like, oh, I'm so grateful that like, I mean, yeah, strong Wi-Fi, strong internet connection, proper sanitary need. Like, wow, I'm so grateful. But then it's like, or and I'm comparing my situation. But then there's the other side of that where it's like just being grateful that like, really, wow, like I mean, yeah, other people can't, I have a McDonald's down the street. If I'm hungry and if I'm like kind of, um, I don't know, if I don't have any food, right? Like if I'm hungry, I can just go to McDonald's or I can go to my pantry actually because I have food there because there's a grocery store right there that has so much food and I have the money and the income to be able to buy it, just anything I want, really. Well, not anything, but mostly anything that I want. And the thing that I like kind of realize is that, there's gratitude. It's like, okay, I'm grateful because, yeah, I mean, other people don't have it, so I should be grateful. It's like kind of a lower level of gratitude, but then there's a higher level of gratitude. It's like, gosh, like anytime I'm hungry, I can go there. Like, wow, I'm so grateful and thankful that I can do that. Like, it's just a kind of like maybe a self-contained gratitude, but it's not like comparing. It's just the fact that we have it, I'm grateful. And that requires actually a huge amount of humility and like kind of awareness that there's like, I don't have to have these things. I'm just another person, But when you realize God's love and grace is there, it's much deeper, right? Because like we want to have everybody to be able to have this experience, right? And it's the people who are putting in the work to have this kind of experience, whether if it's through certain charities or certain organizations, good organizations, or good people, right? Making these organizations to really help, like World Hunger or um, any health, like World Health, right? Like the people who want to go to, look to study medicine, to go to third world countries and really help people there. I mean, it's there's so many aspects to that, and I think it's just really amazing and wonderful to be aware of, to be aware of the gratitude that you can experience. Yeah. So, um, anyway, yeah. So anyway, I'm just filling some work out because honestly, I'm waiting for Cool Kid. I just like I lost the Minecraft match. I just got up and laughed. Like, well, I really had to go, and I kind of overstayed what I needed to do, but and then I died, and I was like, so frustrated too. So yeah, I think one thing I wish I practiced more in high school was structuring my day. I don't know. I really lived by the through the flow, and I mean, I think there's a degree of like funness. There's a degree of enjoyment through like spontaneity. I remember there's one of my friends posts on their Snapchat story or Instagram story. Like, I'm bored. I think it was Snapchat. And no one really does that on Instagram, but yeah, I was like, I'm bored. Hey, I'm bored. I'm bored. Or just like a photo of like their chin. It's like I'm bored, right? Anyway, something like that happened, and then I DM'd them. I was like, hey, you want to do something? I'm bored too. Let's go to round one or something. Let's go to this. Let's go get McDonald's. Yeah, I'll come pick you up. Get ready. You know. And I just remember like that. I don't remember really what happened afterwards, but I remember that, like, that was a really nice thing to do. I think every once in a while, spontaneity is it's cool. It's novel, right? It's a fun thing to have. But then there's another aspect where I kind of wish I like really had a clear structure to my day, and no one really thinks that's fun. Like just on like the surface. Oh, it's not fun. Is it a fun thing to plan your day and like go through your day completely? Well, maybe for some people, but like that doesn't really sound like a fun thing. But like being in control of your day and being in control of like first of all what you're gonna do, how you're gonna do it, when you're gonna finish by, and um, like being organized. And I can recognize that there's a lot of I wouldn't say fun. Yeah, there's fun because it's fulfilling to see your day go through your day with a lot of uh, just intentionality, and then boom, you have a good day. uh, but some things don't go according to plan, and other people exist and they have their own free will and free action, and they do what they do, and it like throws off your day. It's like I mean, then you learn how to make boundaries. So you learn how to make yeah yeah. How do I how do you hook people on live stream? I think you have to. I honestly am starting to believe that to be a successful live streamer, I need to do extra outreach. No one just live streams and just live streams and live streams. Um, but there's some kind of clip that goes viral of them. They either crash out, or they're clipped, or they're making separate videos and YouTube Shorts or whatever, and then they become bigger. I really think if I want to become a bigger streamer, I need to do that. And honestly, I think I'm using this time as practice to talk better. I can see myself. I can see myself. I can watch back. I'm kind of thinking about what I'm saying, but yeah, I mean, I wanna talk better. I think everyone can it can always be better. I've been complimented on like the way I talk, but I also what the heck is this? So the weekly reflections aren't here. Okay. I need to figure that out. Oh, I see. It's just because, yeah, got it. Okay. So High Noon, we're moving to a new dashboard. We're using Softer instead of Kajabi, and um, we're like kind of slowly integrating into Softer. Meaning, like all the content will be on Softer, but right now it's just the volunteers who have Softer, and then the participants have the still Kajabi. Hey, how's it going? So yeah, what should I do? What would be fun? Let's play some music and then let's dance. Just kidding. I'm not don't dance. I swear to God. Dance, but jump. I'm end stream right now. Okay. I'm just typing something out. If you want something from me, you can just chat it or something. So there's this question that I'm answering right now. It's like a reflection question. You can think about it. What? YouTube rejected it. Try changing it a bit. Okay, there you go. Why did YouTube reject my comment? Now Twitch has it twice. That's okay. How are the groups doing? Oh, Pierre. Hi. Groups. They're going good. I'm learning how to make groups and to do the program stuff. And so far it's going pretty smoothly. I am also facilitating for Core. It's my first time like ever in Core, so it's yeah. Anyway, it's a good experience. We only had our first call, at least for my group, because we started 1 week later. Yeah, it's going good. Thanks for asking. It's good to hear from you. So for this question, I'm asking, or I'm not asking. I mean, I guess I'm answering it, but like marriage as a tool for personal growth and spiritual transformation. Like, how do you affect how you approach relationships? Core. Nice, good job. Thank you. Yeah. Ascend is going well too, and yeah. You have any mentees? I think you do, right? Yes, certainly is. I love my wife better. I grow in love, become close to God. Sure thing. Yeah. So I don't know. I think I've been influenced a lot by like certain books, but um, like viewing marriage as a tool for personal growth is also like at least being recently blessed. Nice, three mentees. Yeah, thank you. Um, being recently blessed, I'm just like learning like the way that I interacted with my family is like how I'm interacting with my wife, honestly. And yeah, like like I know that especially the conflicts I'd have with my mom are like almost beat for beat the same exact like kind of emotions come out if I have a conflict with my wife. When I so yeah, like anyway, I get like kind of flustered, heated up, and then my first instinct is like I want to run away. I don't want to talk about this. And that was a lot of my conflicts with my mom, where I didn't want to talk about certain things and I wanted to run away. And we never really had conflict because we always were running away. And my mom had that kind of attitude as well. Yeah, and it really it reflects on my relationship with my wife. And I think I've done enough work where I'm not running away from my conflicts, at least within my relationship with my wife, and we're talking about it. But there's like there is some growing pain there. Yeah. So I think yeah, absolutely. We learned to love our wife. We learned to love people more. Um, yeah, I mean, we haven't had a conflict where I was like, gosh, my wife is so incompetent. Like, it's usually, I think the pattern is I feel I'm the one who's incompetent. Yeah, so, and I get pretty self-critical or like, I made such a dumb mistake. And I think that's why I want to run away because I just feel worse about myself. But yeah, anyway. Yes, relationship with our mom, our parents, just so important. And kind of like how you leave that relationship is how you start your next relationship. It really it funny to I don't know if it's funny to say, but it really comes down to like mommy and daddy issues that we need to solve. And I think that's all of humanity, right? History. Yeah. Okay. So yeah, that's what I'm answering. Is basically, I believe that learning how to handle conflict is an uncomfortable. For emotions. Yeah. So earlier this stream, Penny was having many people, no question about Aju. Yeah. This might just be a me thing. I don't know if I ever heard parents talk about this, but like I I believe that like conflict and mistakes can still happen in an ideal world. But it's how we handle them that would be very different. Right? Like when we talk about like there's certain lecturers in Chungpyeong or something that like about the fall lecture. Recently it's been a very emotional, at least for the international team, it's like a more emotional aspect of the fall. Like what happened during the fall that was like so painful for God and what really led to humanity's fall. It's like, if Adam had taken responsibility, right? Because what Adam did is he blamed God, he blamed Eve, didn't take responsibility for his actions, and then like the timing for the Messiah just kind of get more and more delayed. But if Adam had taken responsibility, the Messiah could have come immediately. And like yeah, so like what ended up like kind of forming my belief was that if Like if we make a mistake and we take responsibility for it, like conflict, that means like conflict can still happen, but like the means to fix it becomes so much quicker. Fix it or heal or like grow closer, because like I don't know, at least in my experience, the conflicts that I have with my wife, anytime we like talk about it and we really seek to understand each other and apologize and make things right, like even though we just fought and like we resolved it, I feel closer to her, and I think it's just because we really need to seek to understand. Adam didn't seek to understand God's heart or anything, when the fall happened, at least when we understand the Bible. Yeah, it's like anyway, that's something I believe, like, we can really grow and develop our hearts. And like the people who don't know how to do conflict, I think, gosh, that might be my like life mantra, like learning how to handle conflict well. Like I have a few stories in my heart that like, yeah, I either got in trouble or I felt misunderstood and I ran away, I cried, like as a kid, right? And I held on to resentment, and then I didn't grow. But looking back, if I had taken those, if I had taken those conflicts and take responsibility where I can, I feel like, my experiences in elementary school and high school would have been very different. Middle school, high school would have been very different. Where like more aware of myself, like a lot of the growth would have happened earlier on. Managing our reactions is key. Yes. We say that Hindu was it like reactions versus like reacting versus it's not coming to me. Uncle Pierre, help me out. It's responding. I got to it. I think there's a delay with so if you send it in now. Yes, responding versus reacting. Yeah. Like, I feel threatened right now, what's going on? Versus like exploding. Knee-jerk reactions. Okay, next question. How do the concepts of forgiveness and grace play a role in your own relationships, romantic or otherwise? Forgiveness and grace. Someone else just joined. Yeah, I see a few people. Welcome. We're talking about deep things. If you just joined, here's the question. So the question is, I think YouTube has a timer, and if I just paste something, it thinks it's spam. Okay, the question is, how do concepts of forgiveness, grace, oh, I forgot to delete that part because you guys didn't watch the video, discuss the video, play a role in your own relationships? Okay, so in the video, Benji, because this is actually the reflection from core that I didn't do last night, but the points that kind of Benji's talking about, see if I remember, this is a pop quiz for me. So forgiveness and grace. So he talks about how a lot of the kind of the parts of him, wait, hold on, let me let's see. So like he said 14 years of being blessed, there was a lot of like introspective realizations that happened when he first decided to go to the blessing. And basically, like, when he was 18, he was believing like, I'm doing this because I love God and I really want to make like this beautiful, happy marriage, this blessing, like, kind of off to your parents' ideal, and like I love. But then he kind of thinks back retrospectively and thinks, well, in retrospect, there was definitely some fear there. If I didn't choose to go to the blessing, if I didn't choose to make this blessing happen, then like I'm a failure as a Mooney, you know, and I'm a failure as that. And there's that like small kind of shadow that was there that he wasn't really aware of at the time, I guess. I guess we're really rarely aware of that, but there is that kind of aspect where if I don't make a good family, then I'm a failure, kind of thing. And so that impacted how he started his family with when he finally got blessed. And it was a lot of fear where like he was having arguments with his wife. It was very difficult to manage his relationship, much more difficult than he imagined it would be at 19, 20 years old, 21 years old. And he's like kind of really struggling with the fact that it's like, oh my God, I am fighting my wife. That means I'm a terrible person. But then kind of at around that time, he realized like he feels so shameful with having having that type of relationship with his wife. He went to God's word, and basically the lesson that he got out of it is like, well, the most beautiful thing to do is to grow. The most beautiful thing to do in the blessing, the purpose of the blessing, is to be more connected, be more like God, be connected to God's heart by being more like God, which is loving and graceful, forgiving and growing. And so like the whole process of growth is the joy. And he read God's word like that and he felt it. And you know, he went back home and he's like, we've been doing this wrong. Well, like we're not doing anything wrong, but my attitude was wrong. Right? Because we're not a bad couple, we're just learning, we're growing. That's basically like what kind of changed his relation with his wife. And so basically like knowing like these concepts of forgiveness as grace, like forgiveness and grace of like being the way that I am because we're meant to grow, is you know, either in a romantic relationship or with just a non-romantic relationship. It's very different. And knowing that I'm forgiven and that I'm receiving grace is the most important to be able to react when I feel criticized. Absolutely. And it's so easy to forget because when emotions are high and like it's so easy to take things personally. Gosh, it was a funny situation last night with our friend. He was telling us about how one of his other buddies, he kind of gets calls from him because complaining about another one of them. Anyway, point is, what they're complaining about was like the way that they take way too long to respond and how personally this guy is taking it. It was really, I wouldn't say funny to me, but it's just like, gosh, you know, it's like, man, I feel like, why isn't he responding to me immediately? I feel so disrespected. I feel like he's taking me lightly. He's not like, dude, it's not that personal. Like, some people are just really bad texting, and it's not like you know, I left him on read. Like sometimes I do that. I leave people on read. I read their message. Okay, I'll get back to this later, and then later comes and I completely forget. It's like, it's not because I'm leaving you on read because I hate this guy. I hate you. That I'm not reading there's no personal like aspect of it. But in the moment when we're insecure, when we're feeling challenged, at least in this instance, right? But like when we're being criticized, yeah, absolutely, Uncle Pierre. Knowing it's like forgiveness and receiving grace, I think is like maybe it's not personal. I think it's one of my biggest lessons. Like, especially fundraising, my fundraising experience. Like, I approach somebody, I pitch them, this is what I'm fundraising for, and they reject me. Like at first it was like so personal, like what am I doing wrong? Why are my other buddies, my other fundraisers making so much more money than me? And like, am I doing something wrong? Am I terrible at fundraising and people just hate me? And then I realized that I was actually really just insecure, and I think that insecurity also played a role in like my result in some way, because I was probably approaching less people, and yeah, it becomes like kind of game where it's like you realize things are not as personal as you realize them to be. Okay, maybe that's my point. Maybe I'm completely missing the point that you're sharing, but knowing that I'm forgiven, I'm receiving grace, most of it, be able to not react. Yeah, remember you're loved, and then it's like, okay, let's actually solve this issue, not just no, stop it. I have to sneeze and it's come here. Help! Okay. Yeah, no, it's not personal. I think, but some people do make it personal, and that's like really the challenging thing. God bless. God bless. Okay. So how do I want to answer this? How does the concept of forgiveness and grace, as discussed in the video, play a role in your own relationship? Yeah. Would it be helpful if I shared my screen? Just to share. Gosh, I hate when people watch me type. I'm not a great typer, okay? Just, yeah. Let me compose my thoughts. If you're not watching, just praying. Thank you. Meant to be. Okay. I feel that learning that things are not personal, and if they are, it's part of the process. Is that right? ちょっと待って。Content. I feel that learning, wow. Yeah, it's so good to be reminded that it's so simple. Like, we're just learning to love better. That's it, right? And in every aspect, right? Like, the 4 great realms of heart, through our own marriage, and through like each process, in each realm of heart, we're just learning to love better. Yeah. So I feel that learning things are not personal, and it's part of growth. I realize that all. I don't think that's quite what I really mean, but yeah. What do you think it means to love someone regardless of how they are acting at the time? Unconditional. Okay, so the question is, what do you think it means to love someone regardless of how they are acting at the time, and how might that change the way you express love? Okay, so did I phrase that weirdly? What do you think it means to love someone regardless of how they are acting at the time? And how might that change the way you express love? Oh, yeah, okay. Well, I want to express that, like, okay, got it. So sometimes I'm realizing, like, sometimes when it does feel personal, it's probably because, like, something I did maybe trigger something in the other person that makes it feel like personal, or it's just kind of annoying. I know there's a lot of cases where, like, um, wife struggles with husband forgetting to close the cabinet doors. I heard that a lot, and first I'm like, whoa, well, that's crazy. But it's like, it is something the husband is doing that the wife can criticize, and it feels personal. And it's like, how do I love keeping the cabinet doors open? Yeah, or just like realizing, forgetting the fact that he's putting the dishes away, or I don't know. Like, yeah, like it's something in retrospect, like in the grand scheme of things, like it's not just that hypothetical issue is a very small thing in the grand scheme of things. But like, it can build up resentment, and I've heard stories. So the book that really kind of helped me was a book by John Gottman. It's something that actually a lot of our, like, counselors go back, like the research that he's done has gone back to a lot. But they wrote a book. So he and his wife, their couple, wrote a book called 8 Dates. I love that book. And it talks about basically how to have really meaningful conversations. And these are probably the most important conversations that we think couples should have to really build a relationship. And I think it was the conflict conversation. I forgot. No, yeah, it was a conflict conversation. And basically, they take a testimony from a couple who had this conversation. And basically, the situation was every night, the husband would turn on the TV before going to sleep. Yeah, the Gottmans. And then the wife really struggled with that, like how she cannot sleep with the TV being on. And so after a while, husband's falling asleep, she can't fall asleep, she turns off the TV. And at first it was okay. Anyone else there know them? Actually, there's 3 more viewers. Anyone else know the Gottman couple? Yeah. So let's see. She was really struggling with that. And it was actually leading up to more and more resentment and more problems in their marriage, until it got to the point where they were thinking, like, maybe we should get a divorce. But it was like, it stemmed from this issue, but it was like kind of led to more and more challenges. Then they were asked to have this conversation about conflict and have this conversation about the TV. And I can't exactly remember the details, like what made it bigger and bigger, but essentially, the husband, like upon having a conversation, the husband had actually grown up watching the TV and being like comforted by it, and then falling asleep because his mom and his parents were always working, or always gone, and like kind of the TV was the only source of connection that he could feel. And so, like, it kind of, being an adult, it carried on, and it made him feel more, like, more comfortable. Oh, Uncle Gino, Storywork Group. volunteers in the house. Yeah. It changed my life. I mean, I think I've heard of their couple a couple times. There was like a YouTube short that I'd watched, and yeah, John Gottman was a guest, and he was talking about I think it was a 6-second kiss or 3 second, I forgot. Yeah, like the 6-second kiss, and basically it's like really kissing for 6 seconds, kissing your spouse for 6 seconds actually makes that's when the release of serotonin, oxytocin really happens. Or a 20-second hug. Like things need to happen a lot longer than we're kind of feel. And so like most couples don't have the long kiss that that requires that is required for the release of these hormones to feel even more connected to each other. And so I don't know if it's like I'm gonna attribute this to the honeymoon stage, but like my current marriage right now is we hug and kiss all the time, any chance we get. But yeah, like my wife especially feels like the desire and actually the need for like hugs. Like after a long day, she's like, Deji, I need a hug. And like we're hugging. And it's like, this is nice. And then maybe I'm just a dude and I get like a little, I'll start touching her butt a little bit. It's like, Deji, no, I just need a hug right now. It's like, oh, okay. It happens. But yeah, I'm learning too. But yeah, it's great. It's great to have a wife that loves hugs, or at least like she can express that. And I love hugs too. My dad raised me on hugs, so I feel like yeah, hugs are great. Yeah, I mean, hugs are great. Kissing is great. Okay, how am I going to answer this last question? What do you think it means to love someone regardless of how they're expressing? I honestly it's just unconditional love. Even dogs love hugs. Gosh, I don't know if you know the viral monkey that's it's a Japanese like zoo, but there's like a viral monkey basically like from birth this monkey was abandoned by its mother. It was like rejected, and so like this monkey was given a plushie to kind of give the monkey some comfort and like some warm feeling for a fuzzy feeling of being connected, right? And of course the zookeeper is also took care of this monkey really well as well. And like yeah, basically for the longest time this monkey would hang on like so tightly to the plushie, and then anytime feeding time came, or like you'd see this monkey completely latch on to the human caretakers, and it was like, gosh, it's such a natural instinct. Yeah, it's such a natural instinct for like just physical connection, and then I think God really made creation to be the way it is, because it's like, yeah, I'm feeling done. I'm feeling over it, and it's like someone being there to hug. Not enough people have that. Yeah. I think it's been way too sexualized, and it's been shameful a little bit. Or like it's become a weird thing to hug people, but you can't just hug anybody. I don't know. That's also I don't know. I live in a society. But yeah, it's nice to have a wife to hug. Yeah. I'm not gonna go around hugging other women. for 20 seconds at a time. I mean, if it's a greeting, oh hey, boom, done. It's like, hey, I'm living in Japan right now. Yeah. So that's where my wife is from, and visa process was much quicker, and we wanted to live together right away. After we got blessed. So, yeah, and I think that's a problem. Because like, I mean, hugging peers is whatever, but like, parents even expressing verbally that they love their children is a big challenge. So let alone hugging. Right? I think there's a new generation of parents like who are kind of really into like the expression of love. There's this one YouTube family that like they just like do daily vlogs of their daily life. They have a big family, which is kind of rare in Japan, but there was really, I don't know, okay, hold on. I have to remember, I don't think the details matter too much, but basically they were having dinner and dad was talking, like they were kind of having a conversation with the kids, and then like they just recently had a newborn, so it's a toddler. Yona loves hugging. She came to Toronto and hugged everyone one by one after service. That was so nice. Family culture. June. Yeah. But yeah, this family, like, anyway, something happened, and like the oldest son started crying like out of nowhere, and they're like, what's, the parents were kind of like, oh, what's wrong? And then the son expressed like, actually lately he's been feeling lonely, and then the parents like started like hugging him and say, oh my gosh, it's like really connecting. And what I saw from that couple, like that family, was like, first of all, the son feels comfortable enough to really to share that he's feeling unloved, or like he feels like less loved compared to others. And then number two is the parents did something really amazing about it. Yeah, I heard True Father gave really exceptional, loving hugs. I heard. True Father. By the way, is the music overpowering my voice? I'm just kind of curious. I need to know. I can't hear it from your perspective, only mine. Is this better? Yeah, well, I remember this very specifically. I think it was in the Chosen video series that Damien Nuckley did a while ago. It's fine. He did it a while ago, but it was about True Father's visit to North Korea. And what was really exceptional about that is, first of all, True Father's... Oh, now it's not even audible. Thank you. Okay, so before it was good? Okay, thank you for telling me. I appreciate that. The music is fine now. Yeah, I just imagine the True Father's relationship with, at the time, Kim Il-sung. It was like Kim Il-sung, like resentment, kind of like a lot of pain in that relationship, right? True Father, like ideology is completely different, right? True Father was a fanatic for God, loved Jesus. There's someone who's ruling a country where they punish anybody who believes in God. And like the kind of True Father's attitude, you see like there's that video, right, where True Father is somehow really somehow invited to North Korea to meet with Kim Il-sung, and then Kim Il-sung goes in for the handshake, True Father goes in for the hug, and it's like only True Father would do that. It really was like he is my brother, and even though I disagree with him so much, God cannot help but love him, and so I will love him. Like that kind, like that is only True Father. And I think like stemming from that, I like really, until the very end, and then some, right? It's God's will. Yeah. means to love someone regardless. Okay. Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, Reverend Du was talking about the loving one another is the most important thing. It's crazy, but like some of the challenges in our like even in our own community, like it's like, gosh, can people even learn? Like, what do they even join this church for? Like, some people are holding on so much resentment towards each other. It's just like it's not the fact that they have resentment. It's like they're holding on to it. Yeah. He spoke in Benin about loving yourself. What does that even? Okay, actually, something that I've really struggled with recently is what does that even mean to love yourself? I heard that there's this one like YouTuber I'm following, and he's like talking about self-love, and he's talking a little bit about like, it's a lot like learning to love yourself is really important, but like, what does that even mean? And he kind of sparked that question. It's like, what does it even mean to love yourself? Like, how sometimes it's way easier to love other people than it is to love yourself. But it's like, what does it even mean? Like really deeply, like there's definitely self-loathing or like self-pity or like kind of like that aspect, but like what is self-love? And I'm gonna give my hot take. I think like loving yourself by that statement by itself is actually unprincipled, because God created to experience love, a give and take relationship. Right? Like that was the whole purpose of creation. So like to think like, oh, okay, if we can love ourselves, like I think there's more to that. Maybe I didn't hear what Reverend Du talked about in Benin, but like maybe he kind of touched on the fact that like we have to remember that we are loved by God. Like I think that's kind of where I lie in that kind of aspect. But yeah, like loving yourself is, I mean, remembering how much you're loved by God. Yeah. But yeah. So that's like the deeper aspect of it. So like loving just yourself is like, okay, I appreciate my body, or I appreciate my heart. I'm trying my best. It's like that's so limited, right? But knowing that God is in you, and God loves you, that God wants the best for you. Like when I realized that, I couldn't stop crying. I was like near a creek, and it was beautiful, and I realized that. On my GPA team, we were reading a Hundake, like God's letter, something, and it was like a spiritual revelation, and it's like what God would do for you to come back to Him and to be loved by Him, something. Him, God, by God, Heavenly Parent, right? Anyway, yeah. So I think secularly, right, when we say, oh, love yourself, like I really appreciate that therapist that I follow on YouTube, because he's kind of a spiritual guy, but he doesn't really talk about it so much, but his beliefs are definitely rooted in like more spiritual. He's not Christian, but he's like more spiritual kind of aspect. But yeah, like what does loving yourself even mean? It's like he's challenging the status quo, because like societally we're taught like, oh, it's so good to love yourself. If you love yourself, you're good. Like, nah, you really need to learn to love other people, and to remember that God loves you. And he didn't say that, but that's just my conclusion. Yeah. So. Oh, I have a meeting in 10 minutes, and I think I need to get ready for that. Well, thank you, Uncle Gino. Thank you, Pierre, Uncle Pierre. I really appreciate you guys coming on. This was great. Usually I have another like kid that comes on. A kid. He seems like a kid. He loves Minecraft, and I talk to him about Minecraft. Dr. Gottman is Jewish. Yeah, yeah. Okay, I can't say I knew that, but definitely like it just kind of suddenly clicked. Oh yeah, that's right. He is. He's worn the. Oh, what are they called? One of those like hats that they wear. Yarmulke. He was wearing a yarmulke in some of those videos. So. Okay, thank you guys. Thank you, uncles. Appreciate you. Yeah. I just want to mention that I like the kid as well, the cool kid. He joins the streams, talks about Minecraft. I enjoy his company as well. No preference over here. It's nice to stay on topic, I guess, with the title. Okay, so yeah, I guess life is really about growing, huh? And really about having fun. Having fun is like really growing and seeing that growth and loving more, being more grateful. Your mother talks about that a lot, so. Okay, I'm gonna end stream here now. Thank you. Appreciate it.